I want to talk about leadership. In leadership, there's been thousands and thousands of books written on leadership. Everyone, I'm sure you've heard speakers talk about it. I'm sure everyone since you were this high has talked about leadership. But I'm going to give you my perspective on leadership. And I'm not saying it's any different or revolutionary, but hopefully you can get something out of this. For me, leadership has always been about working with what you've been given. And it's not about hiring the right people, although don't get me wrong, if you can hire great people, do it, right? But people are people, and everyone has their strengths and weaknesses, but everyone needs developed. And as a leader, you have to develop people. And if you're sitting around in your company waiting to hire that perfect person that's going to come in and fill all those gaps and roles and needs in your company, it probably just isn't gonna happen. It's not the way the world works. If you're a coach and you're waiting to have that perfect team, that all of a sudden you've been given 17 players, every person fits perfectly into position, the perfect height, size, speed, for that position. There you have a left-footed or a right-footed, it just doesn't happen that way. You have to develop with what's been given to you. And I probably had to deal with that more than most. You listen to the previous episode, I started my company in a prison, right? So I wasn't trying to decide, do I want the MBA from Stanford or the MBA from Harvard? I was just working with the people that were given to me to start a company. And from that, you learn to find the best in people. You learn to overlook some of their deficiencies, but also try to help them overcome that as well, and to have patience for who they are and to grow them into who that they can be. And as a leader, whether you're in business or in sports or with your family, and thinking about your sons and your daughters and your spouse or whatever, if you want to lead them, you have to accept them for who they are and help them develop into who they can be. And that takes a long, hard road, a lot of work, and it doesn't come easy. But that's truly what leadership is taking them from, kind of who they are and developing them into who they can be. And if you're leading a company or you're an entrepreneur, you're going to find that there's gaps within your company, and you're going to have to work with people to fill those gaps. And what will happen is they can, if you believe in them and you help them to get there. And here's what's super scary. And I've had this happen and I've taken offense to it. And then later I've realized it's probably the greatest compliment that could have ever happened. You take someone who, comes very undeveloped, but has potential. And then you invest in that person and you raise them up to become a great leader in your company or your organization, or whatever that is. And then they leave you. And you take offense and you're heartbroken and you're offended and do they know what I did for them? And really, what a great compliment that you've taken someone and you've helped them go to a new level in their life. And sometimes that level might even mean that they go elsewhere. And it's not great. We're not excited about that, because obviously we'd love them to be part of our organization. But here's the great thing is, if you did it once, you can do it again. You can bring someone else in, you can raise them up. And also, if you've done a good job with that person, when they leave, there should be people behind them coming up and filling. And that's your job as a leader, is not to just find great people, but to raise and create and develop great people.